Good morning, everyone. What a lovely day for a drive. It is just absolutely beautiful outside, and more importantly, it's a beautiful day for a flight. Let's go inside Vietnam War Flight Museum here and go see what's flying today. All right, so if you guys noticed the airplane behind me, she's getting prepped for launch. The F-100 is going up for a functional check flight today, so we're looking forward to that. Got to do that to put her back into service, especially after fixing the oil leak on the accessory gearbox. So everything's looking good, checks out, so she's just getting her pre-launch preps done. So she's going to go up here shortly. Looking forward to that. This tug is even older than the Phantom. I think it's even older than the F-100. Fun to drive. We gotta go pick up the Dash 60 and some other stuff from the other hangar though, so that's where we're headed. The guys are hard at work today on the Phantom. We got a couple of little odds and ends to take care of this week, but most of the focus is on the F-100 today. Getting some gas. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good day. All right, as you guys can see, it is much later in the day than it was when the last time I had the camera turned on, and it turns out our main runway is closed for most of the day. Not exactly sure why. I heard something about runway inspections, so they're taking care of that. It's supposed to be closed until about 3:30 our time here. So around that time, which it's coming up on that time, we're gonna get the F-100 cranked. So just in case you guys noticed the abrupt change in time. So yeah, we've been waiting around so we could send the F-100 up. So shouldn't be too long now. in from the editing room here, and you guys probably noticed that there's some panels that have been removed from the spine of the aircraft here, just behind the cockpits, and there's one panel open back by the tail. This is actually quite normal for F-100s, not just ours, but for any of them that were launched. This is a process that typically would happen on the first launch of the day. So what's located up there are the hydraulic reservoirs, specifically the utility reservoir, which feeds to the other reservoirs in the aircraft. And what our pilot is doing is moving the flight stick around and keeping hydraulic fluid circulating around. And what we're doing here is purging the air out of the hydraulic systems that tends to accumulate over time. So there's a couple of purge valves up there where they're taking care and bleeding all the air out of the system. Back here at the tail is the oil tank for the constant speed drive. That is for the generator on the engine that provides electrical power. One of the two generators. That is the one back here provides AC electrical power. Off the accessory gearbox, where we had the oil leak, is a DC generator that provides power similar to what a battery would provide. So they check the oil and they put the panel back on, and that has to be checked while the engine's running. So panel's back in nice and secure. Now they go back to the other panels and start buttoning up everything. Also in that panel, not the one that he's replacing right now, but the one just forward of that is also where the for lack of a better term, that's the air packs, the air conditioners that do cabin cooling and pressurization for the crew and for some of the electronics on board. You had some avionics just forward of the cockpits in the nose, just above the engine duct. And like I mentioned before, this would happen on the first launch of the day. So if, like, say if we had multiple flights, we'd only have to do this the first flight. And any flight afterwards, we would not have to do this unless we had a reason to go back in there, like the pilot came back and said, "Hey, thought I felt something in the hydraulics. Can we check that out?" And we'd have to pop the panels open and take a peek at it. So putting this panel back takes two people, as you can see, and getting it on there and latched, and then it has to be buttoned down with the panel screws there. So this is one of the couple of the last major steps, and they're just buttoning up, like I said. If you notice the little streamer down at the nose gear, that is the final pin that comes out. When that pin is installed, that disables nose wheel steering. That's one of the last items. So right after they pull the ladder, they'll pull the pin, pass that up to the pilot, and she'll be ready to taxi out. So we're about to launch her out, so sit back and relax and enjoy the flight, guys. This is going to be a good one.
Garrett. Release the gear doors. Huh? Release the gear doors.
Yeah, this happens sometimes. You just gotta. There we go. Sometimes you gotta give her a little persuasion.
So it goes up.
Well, that was a success, and it's a little toasty back here. But we're getting ready to put her back inside. That was a very successful flight, and I'm sure a lot of you guys caught the fuel stream on the shutdown. And for those of you new or that have never seen that before, on the J57 that this aircraft has, whenever you take the throttle and put it into shutdown, you still got the fuel pump that's spinning and building pressure. That fuel has nowhere to go now that the engine's not using it. So that pressurizes even further, hits a pressure relief valve, and it ventilates overboard to relieve the fuel pressure that's being built up by an engine that's still spinning down. So on aircraft that came later, that fuel typically gets recycled back up to one of the fuel tanks instead of just getting dumped overboard. On the F-100, it just goes overboard. So what you saw there on shutdown was entirely normal. So hope you guys enjoyed that, because I sure as heck did. Yeah, awesome to see this back in the sky. Only one of two flyable in the entire world. All right, guys, so that's been quite a day. You can probably tell I've been in the sun a bit, helping out with the jet. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will not be here next weekend. My wife and I will be attending the Houston rodeo, so I won't be here. Hopefully I can leave the cameras with the guys again and have a Phantom video out, but there may not be a video next week, so just a heads up on that, guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight, and we'll see you next time.